Hey everyone, welcome back. So the early Fuyu persimmon survived our first big storm of the season. Still looking good, nothing snapped, so pretty happy about that. And the winds, well, they came in from all directions, but looks like the anchors that I set up down here, the stakes, they worked out okay. And I also think that maybe the autumn olive here protected it from some of the wind. I came by here 2 days ago and started taking some of the persimmons off of the top because I was worried that, well, they're big, and while persimmons are related to ebony, they're in the same family. I wasn't sure like how strong this wood is. So I picked like a bunch of them off the top of it and weighed it, and I think I ended up with a kilo, or like 2.2 pounds, which is a lot. And also it looks like I haven't even made a dent, so there's a lot of persimmons here. So I'm probably gonna start picking these pretty soon. I think they look pretty close. Let's get up close to them. I mean, they're fully orange at this point, and the reason I've left them on is because the leaves are still green. So I'm thinking that there's still some sugars that are going into the fruit. Wow, look at that one. Very nice color. They're big too. It's like surprising because when I first planted it and it thought it was gonna die, it made like one persimmon, and it was like maybe this big, maybe a little bit smaller, and I was like, oh, okay. They're all going to be tiny because they're in the Northwest or whatever. Because I'm used to the persimmons you see in the store from California. These ones are quite a bit bigger. Pretty awesome. And I did find back there on Nikita's gift, I found one persimmon. Oh, there's Iris. She's our new puppy. Well, not new. She's been around for 6 months now. And she's figured out that the autumn olives are edible, seems like. So she's over there munching. Hi, puppy. Oh yeah, she's really going to town on those things. Yeah, so I found one Nikita's gift that managed to hang on after it dropped all the other ones. Looks pretty good. It's a bit small. And that seems to be about the size that they come out to every year. Leaves are starting to turn. I think next week we're gonna get down to like maybe low 30s, high 20s, something like that. So it's time for everybody to take a nap. Let's see what else I can show you here. Saijo is beautiful right now. Let's go check that out. Check it out. It's got some orange, like flame red leaves, orange red. Really pretty. I picked a couple of the persimmons off of here. There was only like, I think there's 4. Yeah, there's the last one. I can't quite reach it. I gotta get a ladder out. But something to note is that persimmon leaves, they make an interesting tea. So you can pick them when they're, I mean, you could probably pick them when they're green, but I tend to pick them when they're like this because the tree is, you know, sending all the nutrients back to the roots and packing it up for the year. So these leaves are done. I usually pick a bunch of these, and you can just kind of, you can dry them out on a table or something inside, or in a dehydrator, and then make a tea out of them. And the tea tastes kind of sweet, like persimmon. I mean, it's not quite persimmon. That would be weird, but they're sweet. So it makes like a slightly sweet tea, and I heard it's good for stomach aches and indigestion and, you know, things like that. So the tree provides in like a lot of different ways. You've got your tea, you've got your fruit. Yeah, so next up is to pick a couple of those, well, a bunch of them, because the tree is packing it up for the year. And then I'm gonna work on making hoshigaki. I might make another video of that process, but if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It is the ancient method of drying persimmons naturally. So It's a pretty cool way. It involves like it involves some time to peel and hang them, but it doesn't involve any electricity. Although you could if you wanted to. I've seen at One Green World, the nursery, they had like a, I don't remember if they put them in a dehydrator or if they actually like dried them out under like a light bulb or something. It was something unusual. But they did that, and they are delicious, and they will keep, people will stay online for a couple months, but since we're in the Northwest, which is what my guess is, they last at least a year. I still have some that are left over from last year. So maybe it's because the summers here are dry and the humidity's low, or I don't know, but they tend to last for a long time. Pretty amazing process. One last thing we'll check out is early Giro. And it's interesting how the persimmons that, you know, between the different varieties, that they're at different stages of shutting down. This one's just beginning to start. Like some of the leaves at the top are starting to turn orange, but a lot of them at the bottom are still green. Saijo back there is like, I'm done. Early Fuyu is still working on it, and Nikita's gift back there is, I'd say, probably the same relative region as early Giro. But what I have noticed is, because I take walks around the yard, there is a warm pocket like back here somewhere. You can feel it as you're walking around. There's a temperature gradient. It's a bit warm down there. It's a bit warm over here. It's cooler over there. So I haven't quite made a map yet. And I suppose it depends on a bunch of different things, but like, I'm kind of curious if like the temperature gradients I'm feeling as I'm walking around are influencing, they probably are influencing the tree a little bit. Here's what the early Giro fruit looks like. It's pretty close. Yeah, I mean, they've sized up. They're starting to change from green to orange, so they're looking good. Giro's taking a slight break this year. Well, more than a slight break. Let's see, there's like 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's probably like 12, 15 on there, which is a big difference from last year where it had like 30 or 40. Quite a lot. It was like early Fuyu. So they seem to have gotten into this every other year pattern. That's okay. I mean, you know, if it works out to like this one's every other year and this one's every other year, as long as they're not synchronized, then every year will be a good year. So that's exciting. I think I'm still going to continue with my idea that I'm going to start a bunch of American persimmon seedlings, and then I'm going to graft some branches from all of these probably. And you can see like it's leaning quite a lot, so I kind of want to take a little bit of weight off of this, I guess it'd be west side, and then hopefully it'll maybe I'll pull it up a little bit more, but I don't want it to pull itself to the ground. Yeah, I mean, wow, the branch is at like, or the trunk is at like I don't know, a 20-degree angle at this point, so it's leaning a lot, and I've tried to straighten it out. So I don't know what I'm doing here. There was some gopher mole activity under here, so it's possible they've pulled it up, or they've loosened the soil enough that the tree is kind of pulling itself over. It's a common pattern here in my yard. So yeah, some corrective stuff that need to be done. Saijo's had no problem. It's just like I was able to dig straight down when I dug it. There was no rocks under there, and I set up a string to pull it this way a little bit because we have east winds that are blowing it over. But I don't know. It has a more upright habit than Giro and Fuyu. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep working on stuff and hope everybody's having a good fall. See you later.